Joined here today by Nick Moran, star of films such as Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, co-writer of the stage play Telstar, and now director of the film adaptation. Nick, you've lived with Joe Meek in your life now for some time, with the play and now the film. Where did your fascination for the man first come from?
There's a plaque on 304 Holloway Road that says Joe Meek lived, worked and died here. And another guy we were with sort of pointed out, there's this mad old puff used to live there who had all these number ones and took, lived this extraordinary life and did a very, very brash summing up of Joe. And I sort of thought, well, hang on, there's our story. That's what it is. And I started working on it straight away, and I got James involved because James is my oldest friend and my funniest. So it was just a case of, right, well, I'll get my funniest mate to write it with me, and we'll see where we end up. And it took a long, long time to go from, at least the thing got finished, but for it to be finessed to the point where it ended up getting into the West End took a long, long time. I mean, and it became a back burner project of mine. I did the first read through of this 96, 97. That was the very first read through in a pub in Stockwell. Jude Law read Hines, and Hans Matteson read Patrick Pink, and Kathy Burke was Mrs. Shenton, and there was this enormous. Samantha Morton was read the stage directions. There was all these other sort of actor friends of mine that were really supportive. When we did that, and then Lock, Stock happened, and it became a back burner project because I was just going around the world acting in films. And then it got to a stage a few years ago where I'd done a little brace of movies, and I thought, that's it, that'll do now. I've got to get this play on. It's important. It's more important than the work I was doing. So yeah, then we had a great success with the tour, and I managed to get it as a producer as well as the author. I managed to get it into the West End. And then that was sort of it. I thought that was the end of that. You can't take anything further than that. My first play I've written has gone into the West End, and that's an extremely rare achievement. I'd sort of put it to bed. I've gone back to LA to sort of sniff about and try and earn some money now. Having sort of taken a year or so off. And Simon Jordan phoned me up. Simon Jordan, who people know as the owner of Crystal Palace, who's had been the chief investor of the play, and he called me up out of the blue, and literally out of the blue. I was in a bar in Westwood, and just said, "What are you doing? Come home. Let's make this film." And it was as simple as that. We just sort of did. I'd already written me and Jim had worked on a screenplay which had been commissioned by another production company a couple of years before, and Simon had got hold of that script, read it, and said, well, let's do it. And within 4 months of that phone call, 5 months, we were finished, we'd wrapped. So yeah, it's been with me for something like, I don't know, 16 years, I suppose, really, since I first put pencil to paper. But in that time, it's not been completely. It's been the projects. But I took a sizable chunk off and turned down a lot of work to get the play to happen. And then for the film, it's just all encompassing. You can't do anything else. You've got to, if you want to make a film, make it properly. You have to say bye-bye to the rest of your life for a year or so. So that's the answer to your question. He's been part of my life since 1992, and since I staggered drunk into a taxi with my oldest mate and another pal who pointed at the plaque.
Joe Repsher's book is very instrumental, of course, in bringing Joe Meek's legend back into the mainstream, and the events depicted in the book have really shaped the legend of Joe Meek. How much do you think that the film and the play owe to that book?
Well, I can't answer that question because, as you know, John has got his opinions about it, so I really can't answer that. But pretty much everybody that's alive is featured in the film as a character is actually in the movie. So the real Patrick Pink is in the film. The real Clem Catini makes a cameo appearance in the film. The real Chaz Hodges makes a cameo appearance in the film. The real John Layton makes a cameo appearance. So that's sort of testament to the fact of I spoke to everybody concerned over the period of years. Pretty much everyone that had anything to do with Joe that I could get access to, I did and have. And that's not to take anything away from John's book, but I can't really talk about that apart from the fact that I met a lot of people and they all told me wonderful stories, and they've ended up in the film. And if they correspond, it's because it all happened.
Yeah. The film has many cameos from the likes of Justin Hawkins and Carl Barrett, and most obviously Kevin Spacey has a major role. Did these people require any convincing at all to get into the film, or were they Joe Meek fans?
One of the things, the reason we got such a strong cast was simply because it was people that saw the play. James Corden saw the play and really was keen to be in the film. Ralph Little saw the play. Tom Burke saw the play. Kevin didn't see the play because he was doing Richard II at the time, but he sent everybody from the Old Vic down. He sent me a big bouquet on the opening night. He was very aware of the play and he read it. They all knew what the film was going to be about. Justin, it was an idea of mine. It was to play Screaming Lord Sutch, and phoned him up and auditioned. Carl Barat saw the play and was very outspoken about how much he loved it. He did a big interview in the Evening Standard and said, it was his highlight of the year. So that was just phoning up these guys. It's very difficult to get people to be in a movie, especially if it's your first film, especially when no one thinks you can do it. So the best calling card you've got is to have this Olivier-nominated, award-winning West End show. Whether people saw it or not, they just have to take it seriously when you turn up with those 5-star reviews in a little portfolio. So we're making a film of this. Do you want to be involved?